Let's get right to it. The question is no longer if AI will change your job, but how. Tonight, we are going to look at the hard data to understand the real impact on your career. Is this an evolution, or is it an extinction event for the modern workforce? And we have to start with this pretty stark warning. It comes from the man who helped create the technology in the first place, Geoffrey Hinton, often called the godfather of AI. He believes AI is moving so fast that a major job crisis is literally just a couple of years away. And that statement, it really captures the anxiety a lot of us are feeling.
But despite that ominous forecast, the consensus from top economists actually tells a different story. And here it is. This is the bottom line. For the vast majority of people, the immediate future isn't about job extinction. It's about a fundamental and very, very rapid reshaping of just about every role out there.
And when I say rapid and fundamental, this is the scale of that change we're talking about. Boston Consulting Group, or BCG, they estimate that over the next 2 to 3 years, more than half of all jobs in the United States are going to be significantly reshaped by AI. Think about that. This means new expectations, new workflows, new skills required, even if your job title stays exactly the same. So that brings us to the heart of it all, what we're calling the Great Reshaping. And to really get our heads around this, we first have to understand the critical difference between AI as a tool that helps us and AI as a system that just flat out replaces us. And really, it boils down to two key ideas. First, you have substitution. This is what people fear most. Think about a call center, right? An AI can now handle a customer query from start to finish, which naturally reduces the need for human reps. But then you've got augmentation. This is different. Imagine a software engineer who uses AI to write code in minutes instead of hours. Their job isn't gone. Far from it. It's been amplified, supercharged, freeing them up to focus on much bigger things like system design.
Now, building on that idea, BCG has categorized jobs into these segments. Some jobs, they say, will be amplified, where demand could actually grow because AI makes people more productive. Others will be rebalanced, where all the routine stuff gets automated away. And yes, of course, some will be substituted. The real trick is figuring out which of these categories your own profession is likely to fall into. So here's how that breaks down for the entire US workforce. A full 55% of us fall into that broad, reshaped category. Only about 15% are in roles that are truly vulnerable to elimination in the near future. And about 30%, mostly jobs that require physical presence, will see pretty limited impact for now. So, you see? The big story here is one of change, not one of collapse.
But let's be very clear, we absolutely cannot ignore that 15%. While reshaping is the main trend, the risk of job loss is very, very real for certain professions. And we need to take a hard look at which ones are facing the most direct disruption.
Well, analysts from major firms like Microsoft Research and Goldman Sachs, they've identified a pretty clear pattern. The highest exposure right now is concentrated in white-collar jobs, specifically roles where the main tasks involve processing information. So if your job is all about structured data or translation or routine communication, the pressure from automation is going to be intense. What really makes this technological shift so different, what economists now agree on, is the sheer velocity of it. Past innovations, like the computer, they rolled out over decades. That gave society time to adjust. AI is moving through the economy like a flash flood, giving workers and companies way less time to adapt and, frankly, fewer places to hide. And that incredible speed is creating a deeper, more systemic issue. It goes beyond just losing individual jobs. AI is introducing a hidden risk that could threaten the very structure of our economy. It's called the broken ladder problem. Now, to understand this, we need to talk about a group called STARS. It's an acronym that stands for workers who are skilled through alternative routes. We're talking about over 70 million American workers here. These are people who don't have a 4-year college degree, and so they depend on gaining experience on the job to climb that career ladder. For decades and decades, their career path has looked something like this. You start out in an entry-level origin job. Then you move into what's called a gateway job. Think a customer service rep or an admin assistant, and that's where you build those crucial skills. That experience is what then allows you to move up to a higher wage destination job. And this is the startling finding from the Brookings Institution. Nearly 11 million of these stars are currently in those critical gateway jobs. The exact same administrative, clerical, and support roles that are most exposed to AI automation. So here's the point, and it's a crucial one.
When AI takes over these kinds of roles, it's not just a job that disappears. It's a vital stepping stone. It basically removes a critical rung from the ladder of economic mobility, and that could potentially strand millions of workers in lower-wage jobs with no clear path forward.
Okay, so that brings us to the essential question. What do we do about it? The disruption is clear, but you know what? So are the strategies for navigating it. We need a new playbook for work, with real actionable advice for both employees and the leaders who are managing this huge transition. For leaders, the mandate is pretty simple, but it's not easy. This is not just an IT upgrade. It's not just a cost-cutting measure. Workforce planning has to become part of your core business strategy. The goal can't just be to cut costs. It has to be about redesigning jobs to create more value. And that means you have to make a massive, continuous investment in upskilling your people and shaping a narrative that AI is a tool for enhancement.
And for employees, the mission is to develop what's being called AI fluency. This doesn't mean you have to become a coder. It means you have to understand how to collaborate with these tools. You need to focus on the skills that AI can't replicate. That's critical thinking, that's creativity, that's strategic judgment. And for companies, the responsibility is to meet your people halfway. Invest in that training, and deliberately design new career paths to replace the old ones that are breaking down.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. The data suggests that playing defense is no longer an option. This is about going on offense. The question isn't whether AI is coming for your job. The real question is whether you're ready to get in front of this and lead the change. Because the transformation isn't on its way. It's already here. The time to act is now.